Shalom, shalom, brothers. My brother Kamal Mahar here, back at it again. First thing first, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahawah Kakadash. Double honor to apostles and elders on this true from. Blessings to the Akim there preaching his word with whole heart to sincerity. Blessings to the 144,000, 1/3 entirely. The first fruits, kingdom of heaven, house of David, WF, Dawadah. And shalom to brothers that are speaking different tongues and looking different nations. Shalom to you, brothers. So today, brothers, I actually wanted to land back off of the Apostle Gabar. If you guys don't know, Apostle Gabar is one of the top apostles of entire Israelites, and I 100% agree that they were the not the founders, but like the start, one of the key sparks of all us brothers actually knowing Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah. I believe in the start was Abba Bivens as prophecy was going forth. And then on down with these brothers, which been doing a phenomenal job as well. But just to land back off the apostle, he was going into the Chariots of Israel, so-called UFOs, and they're designated to only Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Seminole Indians of the elect, right? And he did speak on also that Israelites are the only nation of people that's going to be delivered in those chariots when the second coming of Yahweh Shah come back, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Those chariots in the scriptures are also called like clouds. Is a really good one. Chariot is probably the found or original name of it. In today's society are called UFOs, or we would call them IFOs, which UFO is unidentified, where an IFO is identified, because we as Israelites know what they are, what their role is, their power, what they can do, and what their job is when Yahweh Shah comes, which is two different jobs. One side of the coin is to deliver his elect, you Israelites, because they're also called the Chariots of Israel, which is a cut to the Christianity doctrine that Gentiles and other people, other nations are going to be welcome into our kingdom in order to have some type of a stick in the game with our ministry. Well, one question that the apostle asks specific, or whoever wacky Christian that he's speaking to, one of his key things is during salvation, right? He would ask, what is salvation and how is salvation going to be conducted? What's going to happen during salvation, and what does it mean to be saved? Very, very interesting questions. And one, obviously, if you just throw it out there, that salvation is when Yahweh Shah comes back with his angels pursuing the Matthew. I'm gonna get it, and being saved from that, second fire, that what's it called, the lake of fire, right? Or what we know as through the scriptures, as the destruction of Babylon, aka America. Also some parts in or major parts in Israel. All of it, more or less, 100% of Babylon, and is going to be destroyed by ICBM missiles, according to the scriptures, which we just know that's just what it is, right? And what those weapons do, pursuing to what Isaiah 54:16, that the Lord created the smiths, right? So he put it in the spirit of humans, let alone Esau, which is his blessing, to be able to make such of a weapon for future prophecy to be for its own destruction. Very interesting. It's crazy. But in order, when that happens, simultaneously, where it says that the elect or the people shall be scarcely saved, right? And so when it comes to salvation and these so-called UFOs, in order to avoid such destruction, you have to, the Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah is going to send his angels via chariots to go all over the four corners of the earth and to beam up and save the Israelites that are scattered all over the world and predominantly in Babylon. So first things first, you got to understand that when Yahweh Shah is coming back, Yahweh Shah is coming back with, power and great glory and great destruction. That's why it says, I'm going to start at Revelations. It talks about Revelations, Revelations 1 and 7. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds. And where are those clouds? So AKA are also known as so-called UFOs, which they are the chariots of the Most High. Or the chariots of the Most High, and also named the chariots of Israel. Because these chariots are vehicles that are going to be used to deliver and save the Israelites from that great destruction that's coming when Yahweh Shah comes back. That's why it says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And they also which pierced him, all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so are mine. So it's letting you know that when Yahweh Shah returns, he's coming with great destruction, and his appearance when he comes back is going to be very terrifying, to where all kindreds of the earth are going to wail, which wail goes into being feared, terrified, or extremely scared. Why would they be scared? Because when Yahweh Shah comes back, he's coming back with a sword. I'm going to get that. And what is his sword? He's going to come back with himself, and also with the chariots of the chariots of Israel. What's that? Matthew, I believe. I always get it mixed up. 15 with 34. No, so it's probably 10. And it's always like, let me see. Yep, it says Matthew 10 and 34. What does Yahweh Shah, or who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, say out of his own mouth? Now, for the remainder of the video, I'm just going to say Yahweh Shah. Now you know who that is. This is in red letters, so it's letting you know this is coming from him himself out of his own mouth. He says when he comes back, Matthew 10 and 34, it says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth, right? So that's a cut or a contradiction to what other religions will say about Yahweh Shah returning, that's going to be, peace and love. And he seriously says that he's not coming to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. So he's coming for destruction. What do you do with a sword, man? You kill, slaughter, and you make problems. Civilianly and also physically, as far as areas of land in general. When he comes back, he's coming back with a great destruction. And when he comes back, he's coming back in a fashion where it's going to have you scared as hell, which obviously means he's going to be doing something that's going to make you scared, which is he's going to be having great destruction and causing crazy problems on the earth, right? Also, pursuant to Isaiah, I brought this out before, which is also what we would call, or I would call, Israelite 101. Isaiah 66 and 15. It says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. See that? He's coming with himself and those chariots, which you also will call a UFO, like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Well, that will line up what I just read in Matthew 24 Revelations 1 and 7, or Salakia, Matthew 10 and 34, where it says, think not that I come with peace, but I come with a sword. Well, here is his sword right here. And this is what he's going to do. 16, for by fire and with his sword, there you go, with the Lord will plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. And what do you do with a sword? With a sword, you slay people, you kill, and you get rid of them. Now, granted, when it comes with the Lord returning, like the apostle was getting into, the Lord is already saying he's coming with great fire, and he's coming to make some crazy destruction going on. So simultaneously, while he's doing this, he has to deliver his people, which are Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Seminole Indians, so they don't get caught in a crossfire. It's not made for them to be destroyed in the second death. This was made for the wicked. So the 1/3, 144,000 and 1/3, they're, because of their, righteousness and what they have done on the earth and their ordainedness, if you want to look at that, that's a word, in order to avoid this destruction, they have to be delivered into into the chariots in order for them to be able to avoid the destruction, which is not for them. Their reward is for something else. And the reward of the righteous, and there's another reward for the wicked. As a matter of fact, also, I'll go to another point, Isaiah 26, 26 and 20. Well, 20 and 21. Here you go. Now, I'm going to start at 21 first. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and it shall no more cover her slain. So again, when Yahushua returns, he's coming back with great destruction with those chariots of Israel, and they're going to do some great damage and cause a lot of death. But see, remember, the elect is not going to get touched by that. So how do they avoid this? According to what to land back off the apostle, verse 20, come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers. And what are chambers? Chambers is another form of a word of a so-called UFO, or what we already elaborated on, that they're the chariots of Israel, in order for them to be delivered, so they can avoid the second death. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, so-called UFOs, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. And indignation is righteous anger of Yahweh. So there you go. So the Lord is telling you that he's going to bring his people into the chambers, shut the door, and allow them to hide from the great destruction of the return of Yahushua. Right? So that the indignation be overpassed, because verse 21 is going into where the punishment of the inhabitants of the earth, or for their iniquity, that's for the wicked, and then in verse 20 is for the righteous. And this is also going into what you would call salvation, or being saved. So that's why when Apostle Gabar was asking these Christians, or whoever had some debate or some contest of what he was saying, whenever he asked the question, what is salvation? How are you saved? And how can you be saved? And what's going to save you? And it's going to be those chariots of Israel, pursuing it in the chambers. That's why you can even go at it from 1 Thessalonians, the 4th verse, pretty much the entire thing. But I'm going to go to, let's start at, let me see. Let's start at 1 Thessalonians 4 and 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh, and the dead in Yahushua shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Comfort yourself, wherefore comfort one another with these words. There you go. So here's another more of a detailed illustration of what's going on, of being caught up into the clouds. Well, the clouds are also so-called UFOs, or chariots of Israel. They are the vehicles that's going to save the Israelites in order to avoid the destruction of when the return of Yahushua. That's what salvation is. So when these questions are being asked, we're expecting Christians or people who ask these questions as contesting against it to tell us this. If we're wrong, well, then tell us what it really is. Or if we're asking you the question about being saved, because you're saying you're saved, so what is salvation? How are you going to be saved? And in what manner are you going to be saved? And how does it look? What's going on with that? If they're not saying it in this particular manner, which is obviously clear, then you just have no type of knowledge, and you don't know what you're talking about. Clearly what that is, right? Now, back to Matthew 24 and 30. It says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, Yahushua. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. There you go. They going so Yahweh's going to come, and also with his armada of angels with those clouds, so-called chariots. And then where these clouds or chariots are going to do? They're going to go and do verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. You see that? That's salvation. So in order to keep the elect alive and avoid the situation, the Lord's going to send angels with those chariots to perform salvation to avoid the second coming. To avoid the destruction that's going to be on this place. That's the whole point, and that's the gist of what salvation is. Those are the roles of the chariots alongside with destruction that they're going to do. So they're going to cause great destruction and calamity, simultaneously saving the Israelites who are meant and worthy enough to be saved. Lord willing, I could be a part of that number, you sincere brothers as well. That's pretty much how it's going. Because from right here, I'm going to Luke 12 and 49. This is heavy. This is a big one. 12 and 49. It says, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? Pursuing it's going to be already in mayhem already. But when the Lord come and send fire, you're not going to kill the elect. So how do you avoid the fire on the elect or the chosen people, which are the Israelites or the elect, right? You have to go and beam them up in those chariots, hide them for a second, close the door, and then do your destruction. So that way they're safe and they're good, and everything else is getting burnt up and getting messed up, and whatever needs to be done will be done in that second death manner. And then the elect will be up there chilling, simultaneously getting those spiritual bodies. That's a whole nother video, but that's part of the game. Granting their immortality, and salvation will be granted to them in order to avoid, and then up comes the kingdom, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? That's how that works. Now, when it comes to these chariots in 2 Kings, it tells you that. 2 Kings, I believe it's 2 and 12. It says, this is when, here's a beautiful one. So this right here will be when Elisha was beamed up like Yahweh did in Acts the first chapter. This is also another indication of how they were beamed up. This is how the elect of Israel are going to get beamed up as well. But this is when Elisha got beamed up, and this is showing you what's going to happen with the Israelites in the near future. And Elisha saw it, and what did he see? And he cried. What did he cry about? My father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof, and he saw him no more, and he took hold of his clothes and rent them into these places. He took up also the mantle of Elijah that fell from him, because he got beamed up into the chariot, and then whatever he had on, his clothes came down with it, because all he needed was, his clothes were obsolete, and obviously he got beamed up, and he was granted his immortality in his spiritual body, obviously because the flesh and blood shall not inherit the kingdom of heaven. So obviously, but Elisha was beamed up, just like how talking about come up to the clouds, meet in the air with the Lord. Same thing is going on right here, right? But what did he get beamed up into the chariot of? The chariot of Israel. So it's only Israelites are going to be granted into these chariots, and also granted salvation, because salvation is only for the Israelites, or pursuant to John 4 and 22. You know not what you worship. We know what we worship, because salvation is of the Jews. There you go. You see that? And we can end this off with Israelite 101, where we can go to just off the strength 45 and 17 Isaiah. It says, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. There you go. So Israelites are only due for salvation only, and they're going to be beamed up in those chariots in order to have salvation, which is only for them as well, so they can avoid the up and coming destruction of Yahweh and the angels. I brought this out as edifying to you, brothers, Lord willing. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahawah Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders I learned the truth from. Blessing to the Akim there preaching his word. Wahor to sincerity, blessed 144,000, and when Tyre, the first fruits kingdom of heaven, house of David, the Biaf, that would die, and Shalom, two brothers out there speaking different tongues and looking different nations. And Yahweh, he is to be, he exists, by Hashem in the name, and the only begotten Son, the Lord and Savior, by Ha and the Holy Spirit of Kakwadash. Shalom, brothers.